Okay guys, here we are back with you in the F-15C. For my guys in the 122nd, this is going to be another air-to-air refueling tutorial. One of the guys that has recently watched one of my YouTube videos, Genuine 1969, gave me a good suggestion. He asked me to go over the visual cues that I'm looking at as I'm doing air-to-air refueling. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing for this video. So first things first, let's go through our process as we usually do. Left control R, get the refuel door open. Door is open, also got the ready light on and illuminated. Let's take a look at how much gas we have. We're coming up on 6.7, so 6,700 pounds of gas. And let's go ahead and contact the tanker and let him know that we are ready to get some gas. You guys are gonna have to bear with me a little bit on this one. I've got my pause button on the okay, so I've got the pause button on my keyboard, so I'm gonna have to look down occasionally in order to pause and go over some of the cues that I'm looking at. So first things first, this is going to be our first pause. So let's get forward a little bit. Let's pause it right about, let me find the pause button. I'm looking at the keyboard while trying to keep everything level for you guys. Okay, so we want to pause it about here. If you look at the horizon line and the flight path vector, I'm trying to put the horizon line on the HUD right down the middle of the retractable portion of the boom. So I want my horizon line going right down the middle of this, and then also I'm trying to take my flight path vector and I want it going down the right side of the fuselage of the KC-135. So these are the first two visual cues that I want. The horizon line is going to get me at the right altitude, and the cue right here is going to get me in the correct position to connect to the KC-135. As we get a little bit closer, sorry about that scratch in my head. Also, Genuine 1969 asked if I'm using track IR or VR. I use track IR for this. But anyways, as I get a little bit closer, I'm going to do my best as I get in the vicinity of the boom. I'm going to do my best to transition from looking at the horizon line and all of my HUD symbology to now just focusing on the KC-135. And we'll demonstrate that here in a second. All right, so let's go ahead and unpause. Okay. So again, taking the flight path vector, right side of the fuselage, horizon line, and I'm pushing in the throttle very slowly. Okay, approaching pretty quickly, a little quicker than I'd like. Air brake up real quick, air brake back down, and the power back in. I can hear it when the air brake is coming on and off too, so I don't necessarily have to, look at anything. Okay, as I'm getting closer, I'm going to pause it here in a second to give you my next reference. Okay, and I'm looking down, so for my attitudes, okay, paused again. Okay, so I'm looking at the number 2 engine and the number 3 engine, and then I'm looking at the altitude tape, and I'm looking at my airspeed tape indications right here. Once both the number 2 and 3 engines are either within or in the vicinity of both of these tapes, I know that I can call ready pre-contact, and the tanker will tell me clear contact. So if I'm a little bit further out and I'm calling ready pre-contact, he may not approve me to connect to the tanker. He wants me closer. So as you can see, I'm a little bit out of position here. I'm going straight down the middle of the fuselage instead of having my flight path vector on the right side of the fuselage, which I'll correct for here in a second. Again, guys, just bear with me. I'm looking down at the keyboard. Typically, I'm staring at the KC-135 as I'm doing this, but I'm trying to give you my visual cues, so I'm looking down at the keyboard to pause and unpause it. All right, so here we go, unpause. All right, got a little out of position, a little low. Good, get everything under control. Okay, so I'm looking at my horizon line, down a little bit, coming forward. All right, getting everything back where I want it to be. So let's go ahead and call clear contact. Once again, look down on my keyboard, which caused me to go up and down. He said I'm clear contact. So now, at this point, I'm looking at the horizon line. Everything's looking good. Now I'm just purely taking my eyes and I'm moving forward because I can't see over, obviously, past the canopy bow. So I'm moving forward slowly. A little high, a little low. And now I am looking up at the belly. And I'm looking at where the leading edge of the aircraft connects with the right fuselage. I feel like I'm a little high. So we're going to take out the throttle, calm down a little bit. Okay, let me hit the pause button. All right, so he just made contact with me. Let me see if I can get the mouse to show. Where's the mouse? For some reason, I'm not able to get the mouse showing. But anyways, I'm looking at the leading edge of the wing directly where it connects to the fuselage. All right, I'm glancing there, and then I'm taking a glance at the right side of the lights, which is telling me where the attitude or the positioning of the aircraft, my aircraft, is to where the boom operator wants me to be. So again, I'm going from the leading edge and then quickly glancing back, and then that right side of the strip is telling me how to adjust the power on the aircraft. So if I see the right light go forward, it means I need to take out a hair of power, not much, just a touch of power. If I see it going backwards, I need to put in power. Okay, so again, I'm transitioning back and forth. I'm in a little bit further. Let me get a good position. I'm in a little bit further, so I'm about right here. I'm trying to avoid the canopy bow. I'm slid forward as well. Excuse me, using track IR. If you ever look at the F-15s while they're actually doing air-to-air refueling, they're kind of crouched forward a little bit, looking up. So I'm kind of doing the same thing, and I suspect for the same reasons that the F-15s in real life do it, and that's to avoid the canopy bow and to get themselves a little bit bigger of a sight picture. So I've got one hand on the keyboard instead of on the stick, so that could affect the attitude of the aircraft, and I've got my left hand over my throttle. So I'm going to try to unpause this really quickly and take on fuel. Right now, again, we're at, let's say 6.5. So let's get ourselves in a position. Hopefully that helps. And here we go. Okay, I hit unpause. I think that was the wrong button. There we go, unpause. All right, so immediately got out of position. All right, so let's back off the throttle. I think altitude's good. All right, so let's start that over. As we suspected, the pause kind of messed things up a little bit, but we'll get back on it, no big deal. Up a little bit. All right, so let's start coming forward, looking at the leading edge, and I know to come forward based off the lights. And I'm just making minor, just very small adjustments at this point. Just waiting for that light to turn green, which it just did. Okay, I should be about in position. Okay. A little bit far back, so let's go forward a little bit. Altitude and control. Too far forward, altitude got out of control. All right, we're getting a little loose. So let's do this. Now that you guys know what I'm doing, let me go ahead and just be quiet and get it done instead of kind of talking through it. I don't think I'm that good yet. Altitude looks good. We're creeping forward a little more. Where's my green light? There we go. Green light's telling me to chill out. I'm looking up. Everything's looking good so far. I'm a little far forward. All right, that looks good now. A little bit too just much to the center. A little coming back a little bit, so I'll just bump the throttle forward just a hair. Too much of a hair at this point. I'm chasing the rabbit, as they say. So I need to back off. got out of position too much. All right, it's a game of kind of chasing the rabbit, and I'm usually a little better, but again, I'm not used to chatting it up as I'm doing right now. All right, grabbing gas, too far back, pushing the throttle forward. There we go. Too far forward. Okay, getting frustrated. Let's reset. Let's get ourselves in a position. Let's reset my sight picture. All right, altitude looks good. I'm creeping forward. Run the green. Come on. There we go. Okay. Looking back and forth at the lights. Just trying to hold what we got. I'm messing up. I'm too low as well, based off of what the lights are telling me. So this is good. You get to see a little bit of a struggle. This ain't perfect for nobody. My eyes are watering, and that's kind of the biggest deal. All right, back a little bit, so I'm pushing the throttle forward. All right, there we go. I'm a little low. Throttle forward a little bit. More. There we go. Sometimes it's good to see a struggle, and that's exactly what I'm showing you. Another disconnect. Not happy about it, but we're going to stick with it. Just always think too, you know, we got other guys trying to grab gas, so we need to get this done. So instead of complaining about it, let's just get her done. A little low. Let's come forward. Oh man, too much. Overshot that one big time. Listen to the engine. Okay, we're in the green. Barely. Oh, come on. Oh man, I'm struggling. If you guys are ever struggling, just, it ain't easy for no one. Alright, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Okay guys, you guys, as you saw, I've actually got a little bit of sweat coming off me right now. Let's go left control R. Get that door closed, door is shut. Let's pause it real quick. Whew, okay, got her filled back up. So we went from, I think, 6.5 back to 13.4. You do the math, it's quite a bit. We got it filled up, but not sure exactly how long it took. Anyways, hopefully that helps. You guys got to see a struggle, and you guys got to see a lot of times when you're doing refuel and you kind of get frustrated and you quit and go, oh, you know what, I'll try this again later. Just stick with it. Always imagine that you have wingmen, a four ship, they're all waiting on you to get gas, they're all running low on gas, and just stick with it and keep fighting. All right. That's how you get better at this. When you start feeling the sweat, when you start feeling nervous, your eyes are watering, just stick with it, be calm, and you kind of got to relax your hands more at that point, because as you guys saw, I was overshooting, undershoot, you know what I mean? I was going too far forward, then I'd come too far back, and I just kept making little mistakes. But I hope this helped. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it taught you something. I appreciate you guys who watched the entirety of the video, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks again, guys.